Great. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this training where although it says VPE planning training, but it starts off really with the club success plan, and that is open to all executives to see what takes place. And to start off with, I want us to look at what are the 5 basics of leadership. Now, type in the chat box anything that you think is a basic of leadership. Remember, if you go study leadership, there's nowhere where it's engraved in a rock somewhere, this is it. So that's why I call it the 5 basics of leadership. So give us some indication. What do you think would be some of the basics of leadership? Thank you for everybody telling us where you're from. Okay, there's planning and communication. Oh, definitely, you got to be authentic. Servanthood, lead by example, integrity. Yes, absolutely. Communication skills. I believe everything. Honesty, absolutely. Empowering, I love that. So definitely you do have a sense of what are some of the basics that should be in leadership. So this doesn't mean to say these are the only basics, but for me, these are the logical 5 basics. Know and understand the vision or mission. So these basics of leadership is everywhere you go. It doesn't matter whether you're a club leader, whether you're an executive of a corporate, or whether you're leading a project. Anywhere you go and you are leading, there's going to be a vision and mission. You've got to know what it is, and you've got to understand it. What must it look like when it's being fulfilled? That's the basics. And in Toastmasters, when we discuss the club success plan, there's no ways that we can discuss a club success plan if we don't understand, or if we don't apply, shall I say, the basics of leadership. That's why I'm bringing it in here. The next one would be is how do you plan to accomplish that vision or mission strategically? You've got to, now that you know and understand it, you've got to sit down as the leader of it to strategize. So how are we going to accomplish it? Strategic thinking is to see the big picture and then to work out the little steps. Management, on the other hand, that's what the leader does. Manager, on the other hand, once those steps are out, manages to make sure that they are kept in place. What else is there that we should do? Build the team and create a culture of care in order to inspire action. Whenever anybody asks me, what do I do? There's probably 2 sentences that come out without me even thinking is, I train leaders to inspire action. That's what I have been saying probably for almost 30 years now that I've been busy with that. This weekend, we were at past weekend at the Global Leadership Summit from my club in Canada. And there was one person that spoke specifically about inspiration. And it was just so invigorating to have somebody qualify and clarify what you have believed in and held on for so many years as well. So yes, you've got to build that team. So think of yourself. If you're the president, you'll think of your team probably as the ExCo. If you are the VPE, I hope you are thinking of I always say for VPEs, they should at least have 3 committee people with them, at least 3. Because as a leader, we've got to learn to develop other leaders as well. And this build the team, create the culture of care means as a leader, I need to learn how to reach out to people, communicate with them, build a relationship that people feel cared for from the heart. When they feel cared for from the heart, they begin to excel naturally. But if they're fearful or unsure as to what they may and may not do, you're not going to get the best out of them. And then number 4 is know and keep your eyes on the KPIs. Keep your eyes on the KPIs. It sounds like somebody is unmuted. Just check whether you are muted or unmuted, because we wouldn't want to hear all your secrets. Great. Keep your eyes on the KPIs. And within Toastmasters, they've given us what we refer to and call the dashboard. That's our KPIs. And that's what we need to do, is to keep our eyes on them, know what our KPIs are, and to keep that. Because normally, when any KPIs have been established, it didn't just pop up out of the blue. Somebody didn't just suck it out of their thumb. It was calculated, and it was carefully brought to part to know what would make whatever mission it is to be successful. And the last one, I would say, remember to celebrate achievement. So let's move it. We all know the club mission, but here it goes again. The learning part is whoever you are, provides a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to be, there's now something here, my way again, in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills. And that will result in greater self-confidence and personal growth. That's our mission and vision. That's what we as leaders need to work towards in our Toastmasters Club. So if you remember the 5 basics of leadership that I spoke about, here's ours. We need to understand this mission, and we need to be able to know, what can I do within my position working towards this mission? What are the key components of a quality and successful club regarding members? What do you think are the key components? Well, I gave you the answer. The quantity, the number of members you have, and their education. If they are going along and gaining their education, it will be a quality club. But if there's only 2 or 3 members, you're just going to have the same old evaluations, and you're not going. You need the quantity and you need the education to create that successful quality club. But the biggest challenge in most clubs is normally the quantity. They struggle to get the numbers. So why are the numbers important? Let's look at a typical agenda. You could have 5 speakers, 5 evaluations, a sergeant at arms, a timer, grammarian, counter, Toastmaster, general evaluator, table topics master, 4 table topics speaker, and there you go. That fills up a room of 20 people actively involved in an agenda. But if only 10 turn up, each one has to fulfill 2 roles. And then you end up having the same old, and it can create a downward spiral. So what can you do to get to that place? Yes, build the numbers. Remember, you might think, why are you telling me this nonsense? Remember, our focus is the mission and vision. And our strategic plan has to keep that in mind. So these are key components that we need to figure out and work into our success plan. And that's what happens in anything that you do. It is those key components that need to go into the success plan. And here is this part. So here is something that you are familiar with. These are our KPIs, or our key performance indicators, or our dashboard. This is what we refer to as the dashboard. And this is what we need to keep our eyes on. And we can celebrate once we have all those little ticks. So let's look at KPI focus. So if we have 2 clubs, Club A and Club B. Club A says they have a base of 12. They are required 17. To date, they have 11. Club B has a base of 20, requires 20, but they have 24. That's good. You can see Club B looks great, and Club A needs a little bit of help. Now, when we come to the education and the rest of the DCP goals achieved, we see Club A has achieved goals met, 8 of them. Wow, that's amazing. Club B, 10 of them. But if you've been long enough in Toastmasters, you will know that even though they have met goals there, Club A will not receive recognition because it says it's required for them to have 17 and they only have 11. And that's why we always talk about the numbers. You've got to focus. You've got to put into your strategic plan, building the numbers, whereas this one only required 20, but already has 24. This is critical to a club success and for you to understand your KPIs wherever you are and how to strategize to achieve them. So sadly, Club A is not going to be recognized, but only Club B. So I'm going to quickly talk to you about the golden quarter, and I'm telling you that because it's part of our strategic plan. It needs to be in there. The golden quarter is what's referred to as the first 3 months of the new Toastmasters year, July, August, and September. So 1 month, one of those are down. We've got 2 more to go. And historically and everything, they have found that if you can focus to achieve most of your KPIs in these 3 months, you will establish a quality club for the rest of the year. Why? If you get those extra members, you'll be able to educate them well. And when renewals come, you will be able to take them with you because they are excited and renewing. So how do we tap into the magic of the golden quarter? I always like to tell this story. We've got great fish. People can catch quite a bit of fish here in the Swakopmund Henties Bay area where I stay. And if people phone me, then I tell them, you know what? The best fish you can catch is during full moon and what I call empty moon. And if you were planning to come and catch fish by me, when would you come? Probably during full moon or empty moon. You look at your calendar, you'll see when is it full moon or empty moon in Swakopmund and which dates, which ones will fit out for you. You won't come just haphazardly if you're serious about catching fish. So I'm saying to you, if you're serious about a quality club, do the fishing now in the golden quarter. This is the time to do it. Whatever strategies we have, accelerate them, amplify them. It's golden quarter time. So collaborate so that the VPE agenda plans also considers VPM and PR plans. Everybody must talk together. Include the 1 to 2 open house membership drives for each of the months. Now, Toastmasters International have 3 specific drives that they encourage us to have, and we can earn something for it. We have the drive that is in August and September, which is the Smedley Drive, and then we have one in February and March, and we have one in May and June. The one is Beat the Clock, and the other one is, I can't remember what it's called, but they have names. I want to encourage you, yes, you can focus on those 2 because you receive some incentives, but if you want to make sure your club is successful, I trust you are inspired to work on the golden quarter and to make sure everything happens during the golden quarter. The last part of the golden quarter that I want to share about is the club should focus to achieve the 2 membership DCP goals in the golden quarter. The 4+4 new members, in other words, goals 7 and 8. Lead by example. If I'm a club officer, I need to lead by example. So how can I lead by example? Will you invite? And which education goal will you achieve? In other words, will I invite members? Because that's my Toastmasters promise. It tells me that as a member, I must invite people. And what educational goals will I achieve? And will I renew my membership first? The way I have, as I am a treasurer in 2 clubs, and the way I set it up is I've already gotten invoices out. I have specials for them so that if they pay for a year Toastmasters, they get a 30% discount. I do all kinds of things to be able to make sure I retain members. And because I offered these discounts, our club can already pay for 6 members. We just need 2 more, then we verified, and September is not even here. So I want to encourage you, if you're a president here, get that thing out, because think about it. If the invoices go out early, then at the end of July, end of August, and end of September, people can divide the monies between those months, and they can afford and they can pay it. So I want to encourage you on that. Advertise member sponsor incentives. I'll just quickly tell you about this because this is not what it is. Toastmasters International has a little thing that they do every time you sponsor a member. That's not to pay for it. That is, to sponsor a member means you invited somebody, you introduced them to Toastmasters, you got them to fill in the forms, and that means you're the sponsor. If you sponsor 5 members, Toastmasters International sends you a pin, but District 74 has other additives to it to encourage everybody in this golden quarter to get it. We have it for 5, 10, and 15 members. I'm not going to share it here, but I'm hoping I'm activating some desire to inspire you to do that. So how can we plan for our success, for our club to be successful? Enter the CSP, the Club Success Plan. That's what it's all about. So everything I told you is head of back knowledge we need in order to build the Club Success Plan. Now, let me just quickly see. There's something in my way again.
Nothing in the chat yet, Granny B.
Thank you so much. So first, there are pages from the ExCo, the interaction and communication. So the first few pages are like that. So that covers the values and primary communication and the handling of difficulties, etc. And for that, I've created a Google form, which I send out normally to the members. I ask them to fill it in. Now, I then will not be the VPE when that is done. That I is normally the secretary. But I created it and I've shared it with many secretaries to do that because it makes their life so much easier. And I will just tell you a very short story here quickly. Years ago, when I became a president of a club for the first time, and I was diligent at reading everything, and I saw this Club Success Plan, and we met one Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, the ExCo, and by 12 o'clock, we were still busy going through those 3 pages of consensus and trying to get all the information. And I realized, you know, if you have everybody in the same room and you're trying to fill in a form and to get everybody's input, there's all kinds of additional chatter taking place around it. And it just takes unnecessary time. And that's what caused me to create that Google form, which means everybody's voice is on that form, and the secretary then consolidates it, because maybe one person said they want a certain value, and then another one also said it, but they just worded it differently. They just combine it and then give. So that represents the group, how they feel about it. And that is the Club Success Plan. So if you're here and you would like a copy of that, just just send me a WhatsApp, and I will talk to you. I will give my WhatsApp details later. I'll type it in the chat later. Just remind me, whatever happens, remind me, please. Right. And the next one. And so from the Google form, here's what you can see. You can see of the things presented to them, what did they say? They want discussions in the WhatsApp group if there's a decision to be made, you know, if something happens quickly. So that's how the club made their vote. And here are some of the sentences where you can see there are some similar sentences which you could combine and say the same thing. Then the Distinguished Club Program goals. What are they? So what are we focusing on? We are focusing on educational goals. I'm not going to go into that. And we are focusing on membership goals. And we're focusing on training, that people are being trained, 2 periods, and the administration that needs to be done. And you as VPE, your focus would be the 6 educational goals at the top. But you as VPE, that's not your only focus. You as a member of the club needs to invite people for membership goals to be achieved. You must make sure you attend training. You must make your payment. Can you see, we all as leaders have a part to play in the success of our club. Please type in the chat, what do you think is the most critical VPE function? And remember, this is what you think. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just, what do you think it is? What do you think is the most critical function? I'm going to leave it open so that people can think a little bit and type a little bit. And I want to hear, what do you think is the most critical function for a VPE? If the VPE does not do that, it could have serious effects. What do you think that would be? Member education, preparing club meetings, yes. Chief Education Officer, absolutely. Inspire and motivate members to achieve their personal goals, mentoring members. Absolutely, you all have very important statements that you make here. There are really a lot that one should do. I would like to introduce or just share that I believe strategic plan is important. It starts with a strategic plan. If you as a VPE plan, then you can motivate the members, you can have the fun meetings, you can do all of those things because you've planned it. It starts with the plan. I believe that's where it begins. And the plan will incorporate those things that you're talking about there, because they are paramount to a successful club. You need to have those things in a successful club. So the VPE planning training, what is the VPE strategy? Let me just move this away again. The VPE strategy, and what is our plan to accomplish that strategy? And there we are, figuring out what we should do to plan to do our strategy. So please type in the chat, why do you think we need to do planning? Why do you think we need to do some planning? Why do you think we should do some planning? And while I'm waiting for some answers to come in there, you know, there's that old saying, and I'm sure you know that one, that says, if you to be successful, I like it, yes, to be successful, to have focus and work towards the goal without a plan, nothing jumps so fast. Okay, exactly. To plan to achieve the DCP goals, to ensure education goals are reached, yes. You know that one? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is just so true. So let's see. Here is something to consider when you plan. A typical club with 20 members, if you have 5 speakers per meeting, and you have 2 meetings a month, and person A slotted in as follows. So here's person A. Week 1 of the month, you have 5 people, and so that person is speaking now in week 1. He's one of the 5. Then week 2, you have another 5 in month 1, which let's pretend it's July as month 1. And now you've had 10 people speak. Then week 3 of now the second month, which it could be August, another 5 is added. So now you've covered 15 members. And week 4 of the second month, August, another 5 members gets an opportunity. And there you've done all your members. That means on the next month, person A can only speak again on the first week of September. It's quite a length. Now, if you look at that, that means how many times in a year would there be available for a person to actually speak and to be able to accomplish their education? And if people people do that, they say, who would like to speak the next session? Who would like to do that? And you can do that. But I like to be able to have a meeting with my members, find out what's their why. And I will show you what I mean by I plan the entire education. I alter it as we go, but I do the planning. And the VPE planning is needed to fulfill our club mission to spread out the speaking opportunities evenly, because every member matters. Every member needs to have an equal speaking opportunity to fulfill our VPE responsibilities of achieving the 6 DCP goals. So let's launch the VPE DCP strategic planning. So at this point in time, I'm going to just stop sharing here, and then I'm going to go on to the other. Karen, I don't know if there was any question yet, and you know I can't do more than one thing at a time, so why don't I just go to launch the other sheet? I don't know if you have something that you want to add, or
there's nothing, Granny B. No, there's nothing, Granny B, in this chat, but I support you 100% saying that if VPE has a spreadsheet or an easy program that outlines everybody's assignment for at least the first 3 months, but preferably for the whole year, it actually makes the planning and organizing and the quality of meetings so much better, because everybody knows what they need to do, when they need to do it. And I even make, if you have been scheduled to deliver a speech and you pull out on me, you need to find me a replacement.
Yes.
I even do that.
Yes. Now, I mean, that's what I even like to do. I like to say that at any meeting, there are 2 leaders, the Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator. And I do the planning and do the scheduling, but the Toastmaster of the day will be able to use my planning sheet and coordinate what's taking place, and that they can learn their leadership part. And I agree with you. If somebody can't make it, they've got to find somebody that can make that place, because we have scheduled it. So this is my sheet from this past year. And I've just blocked out my members' names because I just always feel that I need to just protect them. So as you can see, we meet the first and the third, the one club meets the first and the third Monday of the month, and the other club meets the second and the fourth Monday of the month. And both clubs started to struggle, and eventually I said to them, okay, listen, guys, so you can see the other clubs, things look different here, because they held theirs the first and the third, and then we started here, we started to join each other. And we said, why should we be struggling on our own? Don't think of closing a club down. Let's rather combine our meetings, bring the energy back, because we have more people there. And absolutely, it's been working, because the one club where it had 9 people, it closed off being president distinguished with 19 people. So it definitely is another recipe for working when there is a club that is going through some difficulties. And what you can see I do is I would take somebody and I would plan the entire year. Where are they now? And then I plan out the year. And I do that. If you have a look at the top of the form, I'm going to just enlarge it so that, because if you're on a cell phone, that you can see a little bit better. At the top of the form, oh, now I've made it so big that, okay. At the top of the form is a row that says 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's when we were just a handful of people. And it meant that after 3 weeks, you get a turn to speak again. And I did that so that whoever spoke in week 1, I transfer them to week 1, and I take them to week 1 all the time. Whoever spoke in week 2, and so it carries on. And when they have finished the project, I just put a square around it. So these are just little nitty gritties. I've got a thing that explains it in full. I'm not going to do that today. We're not going to have time for that, but I'm giving you an idea of what I do, and I have available the specifics of how that can be done if you are interested in that. So that once I have put a red square in the date, it means everything below is perfect how it should be. Now, what you will notice is, like, look here, there it says 3.1, and there it says 3.1. It means they were scheduled for that date, but they couldn't make it. So I just turned it red to know that they have been scheduled, but they couldn't make it, and then I had to rebook it so that I don't think, oh, did I double the thing up, or what did I do? So that is just something important to note. And then you'll see some of them have a different color at the end, because that shows me that that is the last project of a level, so that when I see that happens, that I can tell them. As a VPE, I ask all my members to buy a 30-page flip file. A 30-page flip file takes all our projects for every path. So I have 6 flip files because I'm busy with my 6th path. And I put the speech on the one side, evaluation on the other side. And when I get to the end of a level, I ask them to please just give me a snapshot of their evaluation forms. Now, often people dwindle with evaluation forms. And I just want to say, as a VPE, please make sure that your members understand where to guide the evaluation, where to pull it down from, how to work with it, and make sure that education is there so that when it comes time for you asking for the evaluation forms, that they are not in a panic because they haven't received evaluation forms back from other people. It's critical to their success that you do that from the beginning. So this is what I have as this form, but there are other things in my form that I'd like to share with you. Now, I have updated my form a little bit, and I've brought something else in, and I just want to launch that. And I'm just going to spend a moment to share that with you, and then I will open up if there's any other questions that we have.
Granny B, most of the stuff in the chat is that one particular person is struggling to see your share, but it seems like the person's working off of a phone and everybody else can see your screen, so you don't need to stress about what's in the chat.
Okay, well, potentially one struggles to see the share when it's not a PowerPoint because it's too small or whatever else could take place. Okay, so here is the new spreadsheet. Now, it's not the one for my club, it's the ones that I make extra. I always make I make the extra so that when people ask me, can I have your spreadsheet? Then I give them these spreadsheets. They are labeled 1st and 3rd, 2nd and 4th. And mine are you can see there, it has, maybe I can just make that a bit bigger for now that you can see that part. It says M there for Monday. So August, Monday, the 1st, 8th, 15th, and so on. So all that happens is if your club meets on a different date, then you must just, all you will have to then do is change the dates and change the M to a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Saturday or whatever it is, and then put the dates down there so that you can use them. That's the one thing to do. And now the other thing that I want to show you is just the tabs that we have. The first thing I do is I have a past tab where there's nobody in at this point in time. And the reason why I do that is sometimes you begin with all this planning and somebody leaves and they come back after 6 months again. And then you have to do it all over again. I've learned I'm not going to waste time. So when somebody leaves as a member, I go, let's say member 3 leaves, I go like that. I cut that and I go and paste it here. And if they should return back, I just go fetch them from there and I insert them back here again and carry on with them. And the job is done. So that is the past and the current member. Then I've got a DCP plan. So how my DCP plan works is the moment I plan out the people for what needs to take place, and I hit a part where it's the end of a level, I go down to the bottom of the sheet. Now, I've set it up, remember, for my 2 clubs that are together. And at the bottom of the sheet, let's say it was October, I was busy, and Susie is going to finish level 1 during this week. I just come down here to level 1, and I just put a 1 down there. And so I carry on, and wherever I see there's an end of a level, I come down here. And then when I have to make my planning, this helps me to immediately see where it is. And then on my DCP plan, this is for the club to put down what their actions are. And here is my VPE planning area, where you can type in the names of people when you think more or less they'll be able to do it, so that when you fill in the club success plan, you have the facts here of what you have planned. And then you can see, because one of my clubs I saw, because there's so many new people, it's a brand new club starting, they've got there's no ways that we can get level 4s and 5s. So I've got to think creatively how we can do that, so if we wanted to achieve all our goals. So this helps you to plan. Then I've got another one, the PR plan that I make. Now the PR plan, you say, but you VPE, why do you do a PR plan? Well, this is what we do. We say, we plan our meetings. This is our meeting plan. Are we going to have face-to-face or as a venue, or is it going to be an open house? And then this one says, okay, we'll have an open house here and there. How are we going to have it? Who's going to be our target market that we are targeting our adverts to at that period of time? And I just put this in as an example in the example sheet, but for my club, then we go and we type the themes out. You see, if we've done that already, whoever is the MC of the event, normally in some clubs you say that the Toastmaster of the day can select a topic, and that's fine. If you are doing your planning, you can plan your Toastmaster of the day early and say, we've got a topic of that because we're marketing to that target market, our adverts. Can you speak to that topic or not? Or is there a topic that's similar for the target market that we can change? Can you see? You want to make sure that when people come to your meeting, there's a theme. They're going to be, it's not just a theme and that's all it is. Nothing happens to the theme. You want your Toastmaster of the day to speak to that theme and other activities to speak to that theme, to make it more impactful. So here, because the PR has access to this, can then say, yes, they've done a flyer, they've got the wording that needs to be done. It's going on Facebook there, tick, 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 it's done. Instagram is done, LinkedIn is done. And then here, what we've told them to do is to look, because many of the medias around our country gives you place to do an online upload. And they then will find the links of those, put it down there, and just tick, 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 tick. Who did they do an online upload for? Can you see how this is part of strategic planning? Everybody is seeing what is happening here. Then just quickly to finish it, then I've got the meeting plan. And this part here, this is not set in stone, and I'm not going to go over it. But all I do is we use Easy Speak, and we had meetings and we discussed who would do what. So we say after a meeting is finished, the secretary, because the secretary is the custodian of all the contacts, the secretary will upload any guests to our Easy Speak program and notify the Toastmaster of the day, who will then close the meeting to update all the actuals. Then the secretary can print out that program that's now been updated to put into their minutes book and to keep it. And then how the VPE takes it from there. And then this is a week before, what do you do? 5 days, 3 days, what before, who does what. And you see, I focus on my Toastmaster and my general evaluator, what they should do. What should VPE do? And these are the leaders of the meeting. The day of the meeting and that's how we handle it. So that's what that sheet is done, is just always to give people an understanding of what we do. Then we've got this, I created this form because when you go and improve people on Basecamp, I've done it. And if I've done it, I'm sure somebody else has done it too. I go to Basecamp and I approve them, but I want to make sure I give them a certificate. So there's this block coming here, and then I just add that once I've actually given them their certificate. But I've got this up here where I write their names because I just put the dates down when I approve it, because sometimes I've done the Basecamp one, something happens and I didn't do the Club Central. And this is just how I can check myself. None of this is what you need to do. Do you hear me? I'm giving you insights of what I do in order for me to watch the KPIs well, to plan well, and to make sure we are successful. Then the club meeting DTM, I just have that because if you've got some people going for a DTM, I just put it down there where they are so that they can see that I can remind them, hey, have you done this? Have you mentored? Have you done that? Because I see you getting close to this. I just have that in there for them. Then I've got a DTM road example, which is an old one that I did. I think this is DTM 2 that I did some time ago. So this is what Toastmasters requires. And then what I've done, this is the blank one that you can use to plan your own. And the example DTM is here where I filled in the things that I've done to help you understand how to handle that. And then the last one I have is the pathways comparison. I do that because I needed this. I did this for me so that I can be a better VPE. I've been a VPE probably every year of my life as a Toastmaster. I'm a VPE. Maybe I'm now a professional VPE. I don't know. So the reason why I did this is because I wanted to see what's going on. And that's how I found that level 1 has compulsory right across every path that is exactly the same. This is not the updated one. I'm sorry, I haven't had time to do that. There is a new level 1. Then level 2 is also totally compulsory, but they differ depending on which path you are. Level 3 has some compulsory and some electives, but like it's an elective for another place, but for this one, it was a compulsory in level 2. That's just how it works. And if you want to know what's in it, you hover over it and it tells you exactly what Toastmasters International says is there. So this is my sheet and this is my story. This is my story. Okay. And that is why we plan and potentially how you can plan. The resources for this would come in the following way. If you are part of my VPE group, in the description of the WhatsApp is the link to my Google Drive. And Karen, is it possible for you to put the invite here for anybody that would like to join that VPE group? Oh, my other president is here. Hello, Mr. President, CJ.
Sure, Granny B. I also shared your Google Drive link here.
Oh, okay.
Anybody that wanted to get to the recording.
Okay.
I will add the
invite.
The link to join the training group.
Yes. So what I need to tell you is right now in my resources is last year's training. And now we're just doing the same training again, going through it, adapting a little bit and so on. And if you go through all the resources, it's last year, but by the end of next week, this week's training will be there, the fresh one, the latest one. The only thing that you must remember, it's 1 minute past. Let me quickly say this. Please remember, when you look at my resources, some folders, when you open it up, there's like with contests, there's huge number of resources there, and you wouldn't have a clue where to start. Always remember, look for 007. Just look for the PDF that says 007. Open that up. That gives you an outline of the training. And everything on that PDF is a live link to help load the other resources that are there that you might need. So don't bother to try and read everything there. Just find 007. And that will help you with the outline of the training. It will help you to find the resources that you need. It gives you links to websites or resources that are there. And it gives you the link to the PowerPoint, and it gives you a link to the training, the video that's here. It gives you that link as well, because I have a YouTube channel and I post everything there. I link it together. So it's all there. Okay, I have gone over 2 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Granny B, I've added the link to the WhatsApp group chat, and I'm dropping off because I'm in another meeting now.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
I'll see
Karen.
you next week. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. And Karen is our other trainer that helps me. She's also on the group to answer questions there. Please make sure that you do join WhatsApp groups of your particular ExCo position. And remember, every Friday, this time we have training. And with that, I greet you all and thank you all for attending this session, and I wish you all the best. You can unmute yourself and you can make a noise and say goodbye or hello or whatever you want. That would be great.
Thank you, Granny B.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Granny B. Thanks, Granny B.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Marianne.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Granny B, is the Zoom link every Friday the same one? It's Gabrielle from Toasted Cape Town.
Yes,
Okay.
that training link is also in the description of the VPE group, and it's the same link every Friday.
Okay, you are just a star. You are a rocket. It's wonderful. Each time listening to you is so much information. Today a little bit much, but nevertheless, it's there. So thank you so much. You are wonderful.
Thank you so much. You're kind. Be blessed. Have a wonderful week, you guys, and weekend. And thank you for joining. And then I want to know, I am now getting ready to move on to the next meeting. Are there any of my additional club members here now? If you are here, just put your thumbs up that I can see you are here as everybody leaves, that I can be sure.
Thank Granny B.
Thank you, Willem.
Your WhatsApp for the Google form, please. Can you share it in the chat, please?
In the Google Drive is a folder that says Google Forms. And that's where it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, I have a quick question.
Yes.
I joined the meeting a little late.
Yes.
So I don't know if you discussed the template, the correct template to use for the Club Success Plan. Is it a 12-page document, the one that's from Club Central?
Is it the what page document? I couldn't hear.
Is it the 12-page document that's on Club
Yes.
Central?
Yes, exactly.